Here we are. Hi, welcome. We're going to do August chatting with the stars, right? And we're not really talking about Susan and I being the stars, are we, Susan? It's not really what this Leo rising was interpreting, but
well,
I just let the cat out of the bag. I think I maybe was Leo rising.
yeah.
But we're chatting with the stars. We're going to bring down some information that is happening above. We'll bring it below here. So hi, as we gather everybody in, I'm Sandy Rueve. I'm coming to you from the Midwest tropics. I'm on the road. And I brought my own palm trees and ocean.
That's
So
very
anyway,
nice.
I'm Sandy Rueve with Intention Beads, along with
I'm Susan Gidel. I'm here still in Chicago, and I'm a financial astrologer. So I look at the markets and that sort of thing. But either place, we're going to get some heat and humidity and summertime weather in the next week.
The sun is in Leo. That's the hot portion of the year, always, especially here on the northern hemisphere. Yeah. Hey, Amy, I know where you are, and your birthday's coming up. Well, we're going to talk about August. Let's just pull through.
That was my grandpa's birthday, August 9.
Yeah. Actually, no aspects going on exactly on that day, but you're going to get that, a lot of other ones that are coming in. I'm glad you're here, Amy. Anybody else here? Tell me where you are. Tell me where you're coming from. We want to say hi. We want to kind of wait till everybody arrives, and hopefully you have the cheat sheet. This is one page of it, the cheat sheet that Susan and I put together every month. That's available about, I don't know, 10 days, 2 weeks in advance. It's $10 unless you buy it for the whole year, which gives you a discount of like $8 a month. But anyway, we put together the aspects, and then we give a little,
and then
little
Alex
one-liner.
makes beauty.
Yeah, we make a little one-liner. A Sandy says, a Susan says, and Alex does the beautiful. Hey, well, Gluten Tag from Dresden, Germany. Happy you're here. Happy you're here. Stephanie's here. Hi. Thanks for being here. And let's just get into it. I mean, as we intro, Kimberly's here from Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oh, and Pam from California. Cool.
Yep. Thanks for being here, everybody. And Sherry here. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to be here for an hour. Eva's here from Oregon. Hi. And we're going to go through the whole month. I've got 2 conflict days. They happen the first week in August. We go in hot, and then I've got an Astro Interesting Day I'll talk about, and then I've got my favorite day, and Susan has her favorite day. Now, you already know these dates if you have the cheat sheet that's available on the website, intentionbeads.com. So, yes, we know that the sun is in Leo, things are heated up, things are hot. And this is just a big Mars, Uranus, Saturn month. We've got a full moon. We'll end with a new moon at the end of the month. Just kind of tune in here and figure out ways to kind of chill out, right? There's going to be a lot of heated, not just temperature wise, but body temperature wise, and emotional temperature wise, and just maybe sparks will fly. So we want to give you those dates to be aware of, and we'll talk more about it. Then we'll go through a chart. I've picked the full moon chart, which is the part of the month that I call a hot air mess. But let's Susan, do you want to talk about something?
Well, I was just going to say, and just remember that the transits we talk about today apply to everybody on the whole planet, because they are what's happening in the sky above us. And so there's no escaping it. There's not like you can look at your own chart. I mean, it depends on where they hit your own chart, how you personally will be affected. But our focus is on the mundane transits, and be aware that because they affect everyone, your awareness of them can help you understand what's going on around you, and help you understand what might be coming up in the news or whatever is going to happen. But also at the end of the month, Sandy and I are going to be at the ESAR Astrology Conference in Denver. It stands for the International Society of Astrological Research, and it's one of the professional organizations for astrologers. And I'm speaking on Sunday, the 28th, I think. And I'm going to take a look at where I think the Dow Jones Industrial Average is going to go between now and 2032, based on the Saturn-Uranus cycle, and how the Saturn-Uranus cycle, which we'll talk about a little bit later, that comes up again in the fall this year, how the market behaved in reaction to that in the last 2 cycles. We're in the 3rd since the Dow began in 1896, and they've behaved really similarly across all 3 up till now. And so that'll be fun. I have new software that I'm excited about to use.
Which we call in the adult world a new coloring book with new crayons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So exciting. And I'm introducing my next Constellation Bracelet Workshop webinars. And that's the end of August. We start on August 29th, right after the new moon. This is 12 gatherings on Zoom with a small group where I go personally into each one of your charts. You get a booklet in advance. I put it together. You get it in the mail, and I make a bead for you at each of these calls where you call in your affirmation. So it's a very special, very, very, very special. And Alex will put that link somewhere in the chat box today. But let's dive in. We've got a lot to say. So we start off Monday, the 1st of August, with a bang, This is what I call risky behaviors. We could call it risky business. This is my conflict day number 1. This is Mars joining Uranus. So a very Mars being very action oriented, and he's the planet of the god of war, moving with Uranus, the planet of unpredictable energy. So it's like risky behaviors, or are you feeling courageous to take a risk? But it's hard to tell it in advance, because when Uranus is involved, you never know what you're going to get. So he doesn't give you a warning. So maybe use this day to, maybe act irrationally, or be aware that others will. Like Susan said, this is for the world. People are going to be acting irrationally, but how can you join them but be safe? Or watch out for their behaviors, because, to be aware that lightning bolts can strike anywhere on your path is at least a feather in your cap to know you're paying attention to this. So, anybody's birthday that is around May 9, their sun sits at 18 degrees of Taurus, where this Mars and Uranus are coming together. So be aware for any upsets on this day.
And also, it's not just Mars and Uranus, but the North Node is there too at 18 Taurus. So the North Node is the point of where the moon passes the ecliptic, and so to have and signifies destiny. And so here's Mars, Uranus, and destiny all at exactly the same degree on the same day. And big things could shift. destiny wise for the world, is what this conjunction says. So pay really close attention to what's happening in the news this weekend and into next week, kind of on either side of this Mars-Uranus conjunction. On like Sandy said, on a personal level, understand that Mars-Uranus is a classic, in hard aspect conjunct opposite square, is a classic thing that you watch out for accidents, for don't run with knives, just be extra careful if you're on the road, cars, road rage, anything like that.
Yeah, we'll be driving that day. I've already got it in that, no cruise control. We want our foot near the brake. We want complete focus. So yeah, I've already got that in my awareness. So where can you put your awareness for this? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Really, yeah. It's a block of days. Well, let's get to the second. I believe Tuesday the 2nd brings, to the rescue. I called this. This is Venus making a sextile to Uranus. And Venus here is to save the day. I mean, we're crossing our fingers here that, because she's in charge of Uranus. That sounds so like little Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and art, can be responsible for crazy, unpredictable energy because Uranus is in Taurus, right? Ruled by, yeah, baby, Jane's birthday is sitting right there. So watch for a change got it. No driving for me. And watch for change. Now, these are like chaotic changes, but it doesn't say they're bad, right? It doesn't say they're just reactionary. So, like that, you can feel that in your body. So if there's some meditation you could do, but then on Tuesday, I really watched the energy shift from the day before that we just really spent some time on to move into calm waters, right? Because Venus is in the sign of Cancer, which is more about self-care. Like, how do I need to protect myself from what might have occurred yesterday in my personal life, at my work job, in my neighborhood, in my country, in the world, and, as a whole.
Yeah. And, Venus sextiles Uranus first and then Mars right behind it, both on the same day. And remember that sextiles are only about opportunity. So I agree with you, Sandy, that it brings in a calmness, but remember that you have to go look for that. It won't fall in your lap. You have to find the opportunity in Venus sextiling Mars and Uranus and bringing that calmness back. And from a financial perspective, on the cheat sheet I wrote, you can't pick up found money if you aren't looking for it. And that's the Uranus part. You have to be looking for found money. And then the Mars part is to, once you find it, put it to good use right away.
Yeah, and I've got this because it's Venus. Venus is the connecting. She is the relationship. To me, she's the goddess of love. So this to me is Venus becomes the key that we need to use to turn what might have, erupted, love. What do you love? Find that love connection. So anyway, that's, we're still on the first 2 days of.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of next week.
Yeah. And then on the 4th, Thursday, the 4th, we move into now where Mercury is moving into one of his signs that he rules. He's in his domicile in Virgo. And this is, Thursday at 2:00 in the morning, Chicago time. So this is more practical, more workable, more organized over the next 3 weeks to maybe clean up what needs to be put back into, into programming. Mercury has all the capabilities to get organized of what is now more important.
And just in general, Mercury in its ruling sign, in either of its ruling signs, is good for communication. In Virgo, it's maybe a little more practical, detail oriented, as opposed to Gemini, which is just about getting a message out. But either way, Mercury in its ruling sign is great for any kind of communications and making plans and that sort of thing.
Sunday the 7th, we have Venus now making a trine to Neptune. And make any planet making a trine to Neptune gets a little bit, diluted or calmed down maybe, but it's Venus. And to me, this is applying ointment. This is nice. Now, as we start the day, that's the morning, to heal any situations that need, the splitting of truths, versus non-truths. Like I wrote in the cheat sheet, use your no-can-see-em. Do you know these no-see-ems? Do you know what no-see-ems are? They're little tiny bugs, biting, itchy bugs. You usually get it by the seashore or the ocean and the sand. You can't see them, but what I'm trying to do here is use your intuition. Use that no-see-em. Like, I don't see something, but I feel something. Because any intuition that you're feeling today is mostly correct. Move with it. So we start with a nice day and we moved to nasty. So I'll let you talk a little bit about the nice part. Santa Claus is looking for the nice people and then the nasty people, right? So, and this is like the day where Santa Claus might be making his lists.
Yeah, and Venus trine Neptune from a financial perspective, particularly with Venus in Cancer, is, I think, a great day to go to a charity event, send money to your favorite charity, help people in some way on a week from Sunday. But then it gets harder. Do that early.
And here's what I'm going to suggest. You should do this today, everybody. Now, I just got the signal. Alex, everybody knows Alex. She's sitting behind the curtain. She's the one, literally, she's the one pulling all the strings behind the curtain here. And she has got an announcement, but she is doing her own podcast. She's doing her own astrology meditations podcast. And
cool.
It is up now. So she has the link to share. She's going to share the link. She's been working on this for months. We all know she's been doing meditations, and she is now live and professional with it. This would be a good time. It's free. Go and to her podcast and subscribe to this. You can be the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th subscriber. So on ground level, because you're going to need it this coming month of August. You're going to need, and she does a lot of astrological, well, they're all astrological meditations where she'll be pushing out things that you need that's happening in the sky. You're going to need this down on earth. Mm-hmm. So go get that because you're going to need it this month. Perfect, Alex. Thank you.
Cool.
I got that. Let's go to the nasty part. So by about 3:00 in the afternoon on the 7th, Sunday the 7th, Mars is now moving into a place to square Saturn. Now, this is the planet, and a square, tension, stress, difficulty, where you're not, the stop sign, frustration, where Mars is in Taurus, so he's ill-equipped. He's in detriment in Taurus. He's ill-equipped, Mars in detriment, and Saturn in his own sign, but retrograde is squaring the retreating restrictor, which retreating meaning retrograde Saturn, the restrictor. So this to me is a scrapple. It's a battle. What do you have about that? I mean, it's a roadblock and you're off your timing. So anything you've been wanting to do or doing in that current moment is like tripped up. You've hit a detour.
Well, and I think because it's on a Sunday afternoon, it from a working perspective, it suggests that you've just got to work the weekend or work on at least on Sunday afternoon, Sunday night to get prepared for the work week, whatever that is. Mars wants to take action. Saturn says you have to be diligent, and they are fighting about how to do that. So I think it's just, you've got some Sunday night homework to do before Monday starts.
Yeah, and we're just done with the first week. We started with the conflict day number 1 on Monday. We end with conflict day number 2 on Sunday. So you need these meditations. Yeah. Monday the 8th, let's talk about the second week of August. This is Venus opposing Pluto. All right, so we could be seeing some disturbing news on the streaming, but I call this the loves tune-up. Like, you know, if you can go back to December to January in your love relationship or anything that you were desiring, you know, you're going to check in now. Is everything running smoothly? And the reason why I want to go back to December, January is when that Venus retrograde was meeting up with Pluto 3 times. Now Venus has moved into a position. Now she's looking opposite to Pluto. And it says just, you know, take time today. It's Monday. Take time today to ask and get an answer from your partner, you know, your love connection, and adjust if you need, if you think it's worthwhile to adjust, right? Because you should be now, in a sense, it's about 6, 7 months, 8 months later going, all right, is this what we wanted when we made that adjustment back in December, January?
And financially, Venus opposite Pluto, Venus and Pluto together are always a connotation of big money. And so once again, it's a time to reevaluate contributions you might have made to big institutions, which is Pluto and Capricorn. But like Sandy says, it may be time for the market to reevaluate your market position. Certainly when Venus was retrograde at the beginning of the year, is when the market topped the first trading day of the year this year and has been basically down ever since. So maybe time to take another look at that and your holdings there when Venus is opposite Pluto.
Yeah, so it's a big day for money and love, things Venus represents.
The things that we always talk about, Sandy.
Mine's relationships. It's so funny. I love relationship with somebody that's not in one. But I love life. Okay, Thursday the 11th. We pop all the way to the 11th. And I know, Amy, we skip your birthday. There's no actual aspects going on that day. Not bad, not good. It's have a wonderful day. The 11th is now making a square. Sun in Leo, very strong sun, is making a square to Uranus. So this is freedom and fear. It's not or. This is and, this is both. And this is like, do what you want to do today without trying to step on others' feet, others' plans, or others' feelings. But you should not just jump because the sun is in Leo. You know, you have to have the proper lead. You have to have the proper focus. Now you could change your mind on this day. So you could have a complete idea of what your plan is. And Uranus says, yeah, no, I don't feel like doing it anymore. So that's okay. That's okay.
And for me, it's Uranus is trying to get your sun to do something that maybe it doesn't want to do. The sun in Leo has, you know, is pretty clear. I'm going to do this. And it's the best thing I could possibly do. And Uranus comes up in a square and says, why don't you rethink that? And here, let me help.
Yeah.
Let me throw something in your path that you weren't expecting so that you have to kind of rethink that.
Right. I don't know why I'm thinking of, when you said that, I'm thinking of, the great singer, Lady Gaga, who she did the Super Bowl and she was wearing, you know, like Super Bowl clothes, you know, shoulder pads, and she jumped and somebody threw her a football. And it was kind of like, as she jumped, she caught this football. I mean, that was part of the plan, but for us that didn't know it, it was kind of like throwing something, be ready for a change up. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be ready. Also something about maybe higher COVID. I mean, we know that COVID's just like, it's now so our neighbor. We're getting used to it. I mean, I hate to say that, but watch for an increased COVID cases on this 11th. Venus moves into Leo on this day, a little bit later, right after lunch. And I call this loyal and royal. be proud of this period. And for the rest of the month, she stays here for the entire rest of August. And we can also sense that Venus is picking up speed because she's getting closer and closer and closer to the sun. And she's getting ready for her October 22nd Kazimi. You'll be hearing more about that. I'll be doing a talisman ceremony for that. So put that in. It's a Saturday. Put that in your calendar right now. I'll be hosting a making bead for you for this Kazimi. But, have more play in your life. 'Tis the season for fun. Get on your dating apps. Date as many fun people as you can, or decide in the first hour if they're fun or not, and let them go, right? It's about fun.
There you go. See, and I think Venus in Leo is about wearing your gold jewelry. Bring it all out, wear it, show it off. Because the sun in Leo rule gold. So Venus in Leo is great for the gold jewelry, which I love.
It's all about ornamentation and, adorations. Still on the same day, on the 11th, and we're going to pull this chart up here in a minute, that Mars is now making a sextile to an outer planet, Neptune. And, to me, this is a feel it. It's a feel it and then do it. It creates great empathy toward others. Ask what they need, then tell them what you need, because it's like trying to get along with other people on a unseen level. So you got to speak what it is you desire, what you need, and how can I help you? And I can help you do that, but this is what I need. And so that there's a reciprocity.
Yeah, that's a good word. And I think it's with Neptune involved, this is your intuition. And once again, it's a sextile. You have to pay attention. You have to actually act on it. And I think with Mars sextiling Neptune, the little voice in your head, the little thoughts that pop in and you think, oh, I should do that. I should do that. This is the day when Mars says, yes, you really should do that. So listen to the little voice on the 11th and actually do it.
Yeah. I said, feel it and then do it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that we use the same words. We don't practice this in advance. Is this a good time, Alex, to show the chart? We're going to talk about the full moon. This is the full moon's on the 11th, Thursday, the 11th at 8:36 p.m. These are Chicago times. Hot air mess. So much. The moon is at 19 degrees of Aquarius. This is an air sign. The moon is in a fire sign, but they're all fixed areas. And we're going to show the Grand Cross here, which involves the nodes. So Alex, if you want to just highlight the sun at 19 in the 6th house and the 19 moon opposition. This is our full moon. We see Saturn is right with the moon at 22. So we got Saturn involved in this full moon. Then go up and get the South node up in the 8th house at 17 of fixed sign. And then go opposite that and pull in that North node Uranus and the Mars. So here is a Grand Cross. To me, it's caught in the wires. Things are stuck. It's like you want to move, but you're caught in this hot air mess. And, this is a struggle. This is a struggle day. When you throw necklaces or your gold jewelry and you throw it in a little baggie or in the bottom of your purse and all of them get into this ball of mess. And one thing Alex loves to do is like, oh my God, give me that. I love it. She likes to separate, but it takes time and it's frustrating. And by untangling these lines or these chains to separate, you can actually see the problem. But when it's all balled up like this, it's just a hot air mess. You can't see what the issues are unless you take time and patience to unravel what the issues are. What do you have to say about this crazy day?
Well, this squares are, I always envision it as, four corners of a table and everybody is like standing up, leaning on their corner, and nobody's willing to move at all. And I was always taught that square energy has no escape. So it just goes around and around and around and around and nothing happens and it's just stuck. There's nowhere for it to get out. And so, the thing that makes it the square is the nodes. And so here we are again, talking about on a world basis, comfort versus destiny, and how do we change that? So this could come to the fore this week. But on a more fun level, the Cubs are playing in the Field of Dreams game this night in Iowa. And so it will be a beautiful evening, full moon. I don't know if baseball picks full moon nights for this, but this one is. And so there will be gorgeous pictures, no doubt, from the cornfields of Iowa with the Cubs playing the Reds. And I didn't look at their charts, but it seems like maybe it's a low scoring game with a square and not a lot of action because there's no place for the energy to get out.
Yeah, unless somebody's thrown to the dugout.
Yeah.
Right. Unless the ref is going, "You're out. Now go over there and sit." Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll come off of this chart, but really be aware of anybody's placements in fixed signs that are around, 15 to 20, 21 degrees. You will feel this personally. Okay. Sunday, the 14th, we have the annual Sun opposing Saturn. This happens once a year, and this is called restricted and challenged. So we can see we need these meditations this month of, this is still from that Thursday, that big confusion that we were just talking about, that hot air mess. This is still in play from that Thursday to Sunday. And so this is what I called stiff and stuck, restricted and challenged. This is like you need a recovery day. And, and this is Sun's day. Sunday is Sun's day. And so the Sun just needs little, to me, this could be like anarchy, like there's a opposition of like, I don't know, is this protesting? Is this, what do you have? What do you think?
Well, the Sun and Saturn are both in their ruling signs. Mm-hmm. So they're both strong, although Saturn is retrograde. So probably the Sun has the edge. But the Sun in Leo is like, once again, it's no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it my way. And you can't tell me otherwise. And Saturn says, au contraire. I can tell you.
Just watch.
I will. So really, it's trying to find the balance between I'm doing this and Saturn says, no, you need to do this. But I don't want to do that. You need to do that.
Yeah.
How do you come together and say, okay, fine. I want to do this and I need to do that. And I'll figure out a way to do them both.
Yeah. This is my astro interesting day, particularly because this next aspect is the Mars. Mars is active this we're going to talk a lot about Mars over the next 7 months. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Mars here is making a trine to Pluto right around 4:30 in the afternoon on this Sunday. So this is about, and it's a trine. And so trines are easy, harmonious energy. But this is what I call make that change. Make that change. You should know how and when to make that adjustment turn and change it permanently. Like go into like this, you could use super glue on this day. You could use Gorilla Glue. You can use cement. You should really be changing. Pluto is about permanent change and changing any issue permanently, because if you've got the cheat sheet here, the next applying, I did some research, Susan, and the next applying trine that Mars does, applying trine, right? Mm-hmm. Which is where Mars has more energy. right? It has
Right.
more like, it's applying towards saying, let's do something for the future, not looking backwards at separating, trying, saying, oh, how did that work? Right? This is like approaching. The next time he approaches in a trine to Pluto is July of 2024, when Pluto's in the next sign of Aquarius.
Yeah.
So this is why I called it astro interesting. This is the last combination that we have when Mars applying trine to Pluto in Capricorn. So to me, this is like, we have to make some changes, right? Permanent changes.
And on a mundane level, once again, Pluto in Capricorn represents transformation of business and government. And so even though it's the middle of August when kind of everybody is on vacay, there could be maybe there's stuff happening behind the scenes that is making some permanent change. So for sure, watch the news for indications of that around this time. But together with the sun opposite Saturn on a personal level for all of us, you can decide to do something. You can make that compromise between what you really want to do versus what you know you need to do, and use the Mars Pluto energy to really make that happen.
Yeah,
it's Mars trine Pluto is incredibly strong.
Yep.
Incredibly powerful.
So what in your life
in terms of energy?
Yeah, and so by this date of middle of August, you may know what it is you want to move forward on, or what you don't want to move forward on. Again, it's permanent change.
Yeah,
it's not about just sitting in the same stew pot. You either turn it up and pour it in the bowls, or turn it off and throw it down the garbage. Right? All right, we got to probably move, although Alex hasn't told us yet. Tuesday the 16th, Mercury is trining Uranus. Brilliant inventions. Pow! The mind is working overtime. Mercury is in Virgo. Great thoughts, ideas, and problem solving. Even if you need to jerry rig it, or is that Jimmy rig it? You can, whatever you have to do, like as a quick fix, it works.
And this is my favorite day in August, Mercury trine Uranus, because I'm a writer by trade, and I like words. Mercury trine Uranus, I think, is just like, these are very personal to us. It's not like so Mercury trine Uranus for me is like easy communication about astrology, because Uranus rules astrology. And so Mercury trine Uranus, I think, is just great for great ideas, particularly about astrology, great writing, great communication about astrology. That's why it's my favorite day.
So pop into Thursday, the 18th. That's my favorite day. And it's because it's the two benefics. Venus is trining Jupiter. And so this is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious. Step it up, step it up. It's amazing. Fire to fire, right? Venus is in Leo, fire sign, making a trine to Jupiter, who's retrograde, but still in a fire sign of Aries, hot, hot, hot. Anybody's birthday, March 29th, has this sun at this 8 degrees of Aries, which is where this is kind of more happening. So smile wide, maybe you could even get your teeth brightened or something. It just is like something that everybody wants to do. So,
and Venus trine Jupiter, from a financial perspective, is easy, great day to make some money. If you've got a promotion, go for it. The universe will be behind you and supporting the effort. So great money making day, Venus trine Jupiter.
Yeah. Saturday the 20th. All right. I wanted to pause here for a little bit, but I don't think we have the time. Mars moves into Gemini. Settle in, my friends. Settle in. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. This is a big deal. I wrote, stay here and explain a little bit. I want to just read what I wrote a couple months ago. And I really like the night charts get to rejoice here, because night charts will like this better than day charts, because night charts, meaning the sun being below the horizon, is a night chart. Mars performs better in night charts. I have a day chart. You have a day.
Mine's at night.
Nighttime. So you're going to have a better time. Everybody will watch this. I'll have a little bit of a stress period. You'll have a better period. Let's talk about this. The planet of war, action, initiation, aggression, impulsive, courageous, independent, heroic, fearless, combative, domineering. You need more? Do we get the idea here? Is an immutable air sign. Not his best, not his worst. Mars rules fire and water and is in detriment in earth and air. And this is an air sign. So Mars is in detriment here. Well, he's not in detriment, but he doesn't really care for air signs. He's not in his best and he's not in his worst. And let's just talk about Gemini. Changeable, restless, practical, studious, nervous, moral, humane, and social. So Mars is staying here for 7.5 months. This is where he retrogrades. So he's here from August 20th through March 3rd. Settle in, my friends.
And Mars in Gemini is going to give energy to communications and ideas, or vice versa. Ideas and communications will get energy from Mars, to more of it, more aggressive with Mars energy behind in Gemini, not backing down from what you say or what other people say. And, normally Mars whips through a sign in 6 weeks or so. This is, like you said, 7.5 months. This is a long time. And so also what was my note was splitting your energy in 2 directions, because Gemini is a sign of 2. And you may be torn. Do I expend my energy over here, or do I expend it over here? And bopping back and forth, not being able to really concentrate on just a single path, but having to split your energy into two paths.
Which will be easier, right? It'll be easier to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not fun, but easier.
Yeah.
So
is there something that you have to go back to school about? Is there a training period? Are there techniques? Is there a skill? Is there an apprenticeship that you can do? Something says you've got 7.5 months to really fortify any interests or curiosities. This is the time to do it. It really is. All right. We'll talk more about that throughout every single one of our next 7 months.
Yeah.
And the retrograde that we get to Mars, but let's keep going. Sunday, the 21st of August, this Mercury, remember Mercury, strong Mercury is opposing Neptune. Vague, very vague. Pick those pieces out of a dream, a meditation, or a vision. Some can work. So build possibilities on some of those little details, not all of them. Otherwise, you're just going to chill out. And if you're not intuitively, artistically inclined, Mercury goes into shadow period here. He's not retrograde until September, but he goes into shadow period on this day. Again, sign up whenever Alex is going to put that astrology meditations podcast. She's got the link to share it. I really highly get into that. Please, and just support Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And once again, Mercury in Virgo opposite Neptune in Pisces, 2 planets in their ruling signs. So both strong, but Neptune is retrograde. So it pits your mind, your logical mind, Mercury in Virgo, versus your intuitive self, Neptune in Pisces. And because Neptune is retrograde, I think once again, Mercury's got a little upper hand. So your head may want to overrule what your intuition is saying. And once again, an opposition tries to find a compromise. So, but just be aware that whatever you're feeling, your head is going to say, I think it's something else. And it would be easy to go there.
Yeah. And stay in the magical world there. I wouldn't sign on a dotted line. I wouldn't, your clarity is not a thing on this day. It's not a, for sure, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Let me sign off away all my this or that. No, this is not that, but be in, like, some of this will work. How can we build on this? Right. All right, let's go into the last week of August. I have no conflict days on here because I didn't want to have like 12 conflict days on. I'm like, I've never done more than 2 conflict days. Maybe I've done 3. But Monday, the 22nd, we've got Mercury again, strong Mercury in his own sign, trining Pluto. Be direct, really. Others will totally understand what you're trying to say, get straight to the point. You have more time there then to fix the issue. Get right to the point. If you have an hour to have a good discussion with somebody important, get right to the point so that you can spend the other 59 minutes fixing it, coming to a programming, a process. Even if it's a long road, right? Say yes to a program.
And I'm kind of on the same page with that. I think Mercury trine Pluto on Monday, the 22nd, if you've got a really important project that you want to get sign off on, for whatever level, Mercury trine Pluto is the day to pitch your heart out to powerful people who can make that happen. They'll be receptive to your message. You'll deliver it well. Monday, the 22nd is a great day for an important meeting of any kind.
Sign up for the Constellation Bracelet Workshop that happens a week later. That would be a really good program and little process about understanding how the energy of the sky is working with your personal chart for 6 months. We started a new moon and we end at one of the full moons, the second full moon. Anyway, Sun in Virgo. Okay, we're moving now. Virgos rejoice. This is a time of year to get organized. It happens every year around school time.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just so the sun moving into Virgo is just like, okay, we're going back to school. We're being diligent. We're making sure everything is all set. I've got my books. I've got my new backpack. I've got, whatever I need to go to school. And we all do it.
List or check. Yeah. And we don't have to be going back to school to do it. I know some of you here will be doing that as teachers, but let's continue on because this is a big, huge week. Wednesday, the 24th, we've got Uranus retrograde. Now he's joining the retrograde group. He's the final superior outer planet that's moving retrograde. So he's now moved with all of them. It's slow moving progress from now until mid-January. Anyone whose birthday is between May 6th and May 9th, and I know some of you here have that, be ready to change. You are metamorphosing from now until January. And this is a collective, right? This is for everyone. And it's not as effective. Planets aren't as effective when they're retrograde as they are when they're direct.
Right. And Uranus in Taurus is about disrupting comfort, disrupting financial institutions. And so retrograde, it's a time to reconsider the innovations that have occurred and are occurring. Of course, the top of mind one that comes is there may be news about Bitcoin while Uranus is retrograde. That comes to the fore about how it's used, how it functions, that sort of thing.
All right, Thursday the 25th. This is Mercury, the planet of communication, leaves his comfortable Virgo placement where he's very orderly, practical, and organized, and moves into Libra. So I have speak fairly because it's now gone into the air cardinal sign, make humanitarian statements, stand behind them, stand on them. You might be chatting now about rights versus wrongs.
Mm-hmm. And it's a time to listen to both sides of the story. Mm-hmm. Mercury wants to hear both sides. It wants to know the pros and cons so that it can make a good decision. So be prepared to deliver both sides and listen to both sides.
Yeah, that whole be prepared thing.
Yeah.
Friday the 26th, we have Venus making a square. We hear square to Uranus, stress on freedom. Is someone acting up or someone acting out? Is it you? Ask yourself that question. This is about women. This is something about women in the news. Something's going on, a surprise about women. This is something about what is being really said. What are they really trying to say? What are they portraying? Do we have to read between the lines here? Who needs to be more flirty? This to me is about a flirty placement. Like, are you directing this flirtatiousness into the correct relationship? Because if it's outside of your committed relationship, there's trouble in River City. So I'm just saying what you might already know on this day. Claudia's birthday is here. So, it's, again, like you said, like that stress on freedom. I want to do this, but something's come in.
Yeah. And from a financial perspective, Venus square Uranus is that some financial issues are resisting change. Uranus is trying hard, though, to make it happen.
Yeah. So again, I think this is Venus, women in the news.
Yeah.
There's another kind of surprise here, shock, maybe even stress on our freedom. Calm meditation. All right, Saturday the 27th. Sun is making, Sun is square Mars. Now, this happens at 12:30 in the morning. So Saturday morning, you might wake up, you might get up in the middle of the night and go, oh my God, maybe you had a nightmare or running somewhere and didn't know where you were going, or somebody was after you. I don't know. I'm just picturing some sort of like a feeling of a dream that you're being chased or something, because what I call this is reframe. Reframe your anger into words that get to the point. Reminds me of Pink. I love Pink. She sings a song, I framed where you punched the wall. She put a frame around where her partner, and it's part of her lyrics. And it just reminds me that, it's going to hurt, something can hurt, something can sting, but you're going to take what that was and make a next action step. Mm-hmm. It's not about, like, what are we going to do about it then? That kind of energy. I'm not in a relationship. It's easy to say.
Well, the Sun in Virgo squaring Mars and Gemini. Remember, they're both ruled by Mercury. And so I think this is where, to resolve the square, you have to let Mercury's details rule. You have to focus on the details. Okay. How am I going to do this? Be a good communicator, spell it out, say what you mean what you say, and figure it out.
Yeah, I won't go over the dates, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dates that go all the way to November of 2023, that there may be some situations that will continue to come up because, Mars is going to be here for a period of time. So I'll just give you the next one. October 18th is when we get the Sun and Venus in Libra making a trine to this Mars. So that kind of then, what you can do now about reframing your words, like you mentioned, Susan, you'll have a nice outcome by this October 18th. So look in your calendar and see if there's something that, it encompasses that, right?
Yeah.
It's worth doing on this date because, we got December 9th when they're in opposition. We've got January when they're in trine again. And Mars is in Gemini this whole time, and the sun is making this combination coming back to, okay, have we figured it out? Here we are again. What are we going to do this time? Or is that thing working? So start here. And if you're not doing anything or saying anything, mark this in your calendar on this date, right on the 27th of Saturday, 27th. What's going on in your world? Because that is going to come back up again for a period of time.
And this is when we'll be at our conference.
Right? All right. Saturday, the 27th, also, we have the new moon. This is at 4 degrees of Virgo. Mental agitation. Now, this is at 3:17 a.m. Chicago time. And this is the new moon. So the sun and the moon are in one placement, and they're squaring the Mars, as we kind of were just talking about. At the same time, so that can be agitation, but at the same time, Mercury is trining Mars. So what you were just saying, Susan, is like Mercury's trying to harmonize, trying to like calm things down. Let's use nice words. Let's use words that can be effective. So join hands here, join hands to make a pact to work issues out. This is Virgo. Virgo may want things perfect. You don't want to ask anyone for perfection, not even of yourself. Don't go there. Ask for making things better, not perfect. You will never achieve. You will never achieve, and you'll be angry the whole time.
But you also can, because it's Virgo, you can set intention about being very detailed about what you want to do. So like you were saying, the sun squaring Mars just by itself is about reframing and getting set up for what can come later. The new moon in this only emphasizes that in terms of that this is a really important time to set intention about what that is going to be that you're going to watch over the next 6 months.
Yeah. It's like turn whatever kind of chaotic situation is happening, turn it into advantage, right? How can things calm down? And, and we got Sunday, the 28th. This is the end of the last day of the month that there's something astrologically going on. And this is Venus making an opposition to Saturn. So to me, this is a pulling away. Now, talking about those couple days ahead of this 28, there's a chill in the air. Or is there something about cold feet? Right? I look at Venus's relationships. Yeah. You'll say your part here, but there's separations happening. It's opposing Saturn. So it's like, don't kid yourself. Don't like pretend that, oh, you're all this, you're all lovey-dovey when, you're not feeling the same way. You're chilled, you're cold, you're not as warm and functional. But if there is separations happening, make sure that they're for the right reasons. Ask and answer for corrective purposes for the future. This whole ghosting, or not saying, oh, I'm washing my hair, I can't see you. Be really, really direct on these days so that there's a understanding of why you are feeling a little chilled, or why your new date is not feeling it anymore. Get clear. It's gonna be hard, but get clear. There's a pulling away.
And Sunday the 28th, this is when I do my talk about the stock market. And so here I think it's a perfect day for it. Here's Venus and Leo. We're going to be talking about money, opposite Saturn, long-term trends in the stock market, and the conflict between them, because I'm going to talk about the Saturn-Uranus square, the Saturn-Uranus cycle. And we're at the square moving to the sextile at the closing out the third one since 1896. So long-term financial outlook.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a few little text messages or chats coming through. And, that day that we told you not to, like, just beware of travel. That's the first of the month. You can I'm traveling. So I'm not telling you not to travel. I'm just saying, just leave more time. Don't be in a rush. If you're catching a flight, leave super, super duper early so that you are in place when you need to be at the place of, there might be delays, but the delays may be the flight, but the delays may be the transportation getting to the flight. And you don't want to be hung up there. That's why I say that.
Right.
Also, somebody's birthday's coming in. Shelly, happy birthday on this day. What are you pulling away from? What do you want to let go of? You get to choose that, or at least understand it if it's someone or something. So join us for our next forecast. We are not getting together in August. We're going to be at the ESAR conference. And so our next one is September 3rd, and we'll be talking about the September. We'll already be 3 days in. So make sure you get the cheat sheet, which will be out toward the end of August, so that you have all dates. Really, we love doing the cheat sheet, and we hope that,
and this.
Oh, and this, and we're, and we are really wanting for you to learn more astrology. That's why you're here. How does it affect your life and the world and the news? Because we are living in these chaotic times. Follow why.
And I think it's calming to know that I can see from astrology that there's a reason that things happen and are connected. It's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. So Alex said she put that up, although I didn't see it on the chat. Alex said she put up her astrology meditations is up, ready to subscribe and listen to. She's got one up there already. And it's about this healing, this hurt and healing. She is watching the sky because she's in the astrology world, and she is bringing all of the techniques that she has learned with all of her gurus that she has followed and worked for in the last 15 years. And she's doing her own thing. So follow Alex and support her, because I know you love her. So join her. Otherwise, Susan, I'll see you. I'm heading to a bridal shower.
Have big fun.
Hop in a golf cart and go through the woods and go to the bridal shower. So thank everyone for joining, and get your cheat sheets and follow your month.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.